Hey everyone, thanks for joining my video. Today I'm going to show us how to deploy the Cisco Secure Client to macOS devices using Microsoft Intune. So if you're anything like me, you're probably looking around the web, looking around YouTube, any resources to help you get this installed to your macOS devices with Microsoft Intune. And to tell you the truth, there is a lot of different articles, but some of them just haven't worked out for me. So I'm going to show you what has worked for me, so hopefully it helps you. And you know, why is Cisco Secure Client a little harder to deploy than any other DMG or PKG packages? It has complex and code signing requirements and other configurations that are needed from IT admins that make it a little harder than your regular Google Chrome DMG or other platforms. So I actually want to show you a step-by-step guide to get this deployed, what helped me, and hopefully, like I mentioned, helps you. So we're really going to need three things in order for us to set this up. One is going to be a file extractor. You can use, if you're on Windows, 7-zip, or if you're on a macOS device, you can use something like pzip. I actually just found out about this tool. It's pretty neat. The second one you're going to need is access to an Intune tenant. And the last one you'll need is access to Cisco, so you can go ahead and grab that package. So if you're inside of cisco.com, inside of your portal, you can go to support, products and downloads, Secure Client 5. And we're going to look for our macOS platform. We'll scroll down, and here we go. We're going to need the Cisco Secure Client head-end deployment package. Essentially, as long as you have the Cisco Secure Client macOS, the version you're running, web deploy K9 PKG, you should be fine. So let's go ahead and download that. Accept your general terms and agreement. Perfect, and we'll let that download. We'll save it. Awesome. So now we can open up pzip, and if we go to downloads, give this a refresh, we should see the Cisco Secure Client package come through. So here we're actually going to use pzip to extract this file. So we'll right click and extract. Perfect. And now we can go ahead and make sure you have it set to your output that you want. In my case, I'm going to send it to my downloads folder. Do OK. And it just did its magic. And there's a lot going on, but really the thing that we need is access to the binaries. So if we go to binaries, so once we're in the binaries, we see a lot of different information, but to keep it simple, we're only going to need one DMG package from here. In our case, it's going to be this Cisco Secure Client macOS version number core VPN web deploy DMG file. So we'll double click there, and it'll take us to this folder where it says Cisco Secure Client AnyConnect VPN version number. So let's click on that folder. In here, really what's going to be important for us is this package right here. So we can go ahead and right click, and we can send this to move to our, let's move this, actually, I'm just gonna drag this to my documents file or folder so we can reference this for later. Perfect. So if we go to documents, we can see that's showing up right there. Perfect. So keep a note or wherever you put your PKG package, because we will need that later on when we go to Microsoft Intune. If you go to Microsoft.Intune, devices, macOS, and click on configuration, we're going to have to set up some configuration profiles in order for this to work correctly. So the first one I'm going to create is going to be used to approve our system extensions. So let's go ahead and click on settings catalog, create, and we can name this something like Cisco VPN system extensions. extend, if I could spell right. Perfect. So we'll click on next. And I'm actually using this guide right here to help us grab some of that information. It's the Cisco Secure Client Administrator Guide. I'll make sure this page is on the download. I'll make sure this page is available for you to use as well. So here I'm going to be using this network extension information. So if we go back to Microsoft Intune, click on Add Settings, we'll want to make sure we go to System Extensions. Perfect. And here we want to select we want to make sure we have these two selected. So the first one's going to be allowed system extension types, and the second one's going to be allowed system extensions. Perfect. So we'll remove those. And let's take a look over here. Perfect. So for the allowed system extensions, we'll want to click on Edit Instance. And here, perfect. So first, I'm actually going to set up the allowed system extension types. Here, I'm going to edit my instance. And then here, I'm going to add network extensions. And for the team identifier, I'm going to use this value right here, DE8Y96K9QP. So we'll add that there. Perfect, we'll save. And now we'll want to add our information for our allowed system extensions. So we'll edit that. And here we want to add the bundle identifier, this com.cisco anyconnect macOS socket extension. We'll go back to our page there, and we'll want to add this to the allowed system extensions. Perfect. And for our team identifier, we'll want to use that same value as we did. So we'll click there. Perfect. So we'll save that information. So we'll go ahead and click next. I don't need to assign any scope tags. And for my assignments, I'm going to select a pilot group that I have. Perfect. Click next and create. And now we'll continue and move on to our next configuration profile. Perfect. And now we're going to set up another configuration profile, and this is going to approve the manage login items using Microsoft Intune. So we'll click on Settings Catalog, Create. We'll call it Cisco VPN Managed Login Items. Perfect. We'll move forward and click next. And let's click on Add Settings. And here we're going to go to Service Management. Perfect. So as long as you're following this path, login, service management, manage login items, you should be fine. And we'll select rules. We'll close this. Here, want to scroll down. And we want to edit our instance. So here, we want to make sure that we're pre-filling this information out. And we can see this as well in the Cisco admin guide. So if we go to manage login items, we can see this information there. So I'm going to fill out my comment. It's going to be Cisco Secure Client. And for my rule type, I'm going to do team identifier, and my rule value will be the D89 information. Perfect. Click there and we'll save that. So as long as you have your comment set to Cisco Secure Client, rule type as team identifier, and your rule value as the same as the Cisco Secure Client admin guide, we should be fine there. So we'll click next. Scope tags, nope. And let's go ahead and add our pilot group. Perfect. So we'll click next, next, and create. Perfect. And then we're going to create one more policy. We're going to click on templates and custom. And this next policy that we're creating is going to be an MDM configuration profile for Cisco Secure Client System and kernel extension approval. And we can access that XML file that we're going to need in this admin guide. Essentially, we're just going to copy this information here, and we'll grab all of that, and we'll right click and copy. So as long as you have that information copied and pasted, actually I'm going to have to save this as a mobile config file, so you can use any editor that you want, but I'm going to create this, and we can name this file save as. We can name this secure client.mobile config. Save this to my documents. So we'll click on save. Perfect. And now if we go back to Microsoft Intune and then go back to our custom template, we can create that, and we can call this Cisco VPN. Let's give it a, we'll do kernel extension approval. I don't think I spelled that right. Extension. Perfect. So we'll click next, and here we'll give this a name. We can call it Secure Client Mobile Config. Awesome. And then here's where we're going to add our configuration profile. That mobile config file, document section, and I have it called secure client.mobileconfig. Perfect. So go ahead and review that and click next. And here I'm going to, not all users, I'm going to select my group here, my pilot group. We'll click next, next, and create. Perfect. And thanks for following along. Now we should have 3 policies or configuration profiles set up in place. If you're still here with me, we're doing good. We're doing good. So now we want to make sure that we can deploy this application with Microsoft Intune. So let's go over to our apps. We'll click on macOS, and we'll add an app type. And the package that we had was a PKG. So we'll click on that. We'll select our app package file. And remember, we left it on the document section earlier. So we'll click on there. Perfect. And we can change the name of this to make it easier for our end users. So we'll do Cisco Secure Client 5.17.80. And we can do the same thing for the description. 1.7.80 for Mac OS. And the publisher will be Cisco. And I'm not going to add any logos, just to make this a little faster for you all. Perfect. We'll click on Next. And we aren't going to need any pre-install or post-install scripts, unless you want to, but not a requirement for me today. And we can set up a minimum operating system. In my case, I'll just do macOS Sonoma. Perfect. And we'll scroll down. Here we can ignore the app version, that's fine. We can keep all this as default. So we'll click on Next. And I'm going to add this as required to my group. Perfect. I'm going to review and create. So now I'm just going to open up my company portal application and run a quick sync on my device. Perfect. So now we'll just wait for our policies to hit our device and the application to deploy. Perfect. We can see that Cisco did show up for us. And we can see a couple other different extensions as well, such as those that we set up in the configuration profile. So we can see this Cisco Secure Client, AnyConnect VPN service has been configured. So that's good stuff. Now let's see what we got here. So if we search for... Perfect. So now that we have that installed, let's go ahead and search for Cisco Secure Client. And we can go ahead and we'll go ahead and select Connect. Go ahead and select your account. And we have a banner from our company. And we can see that that connection has now been successful. As we can see here, if we go to About Cisco Secure Client, we now have a successful connection. Thanks for joining.